here, then step by step we go through it. So let's give it a try. It's of course a try for me. And that Lord whose essential nature is sentiency externally manifests, like a yogin, all the objects which are within him according to his free will, without requiring any material cause. So this is only about this, that there is no need to require to look for a material cause for that, for any type of appearances, because through the only reason is not that yogin brings about the manifestations, but it is that sentiency, which is consciousness, has free will, and that's why all appearances is due to free will, including a life, anything, time, concepts, perceptions, any objectivity, all you can see. So it's telling that is due to free will. There is no other material cause for all that. All material cause also due to the free will. And then we can want to paraphrase line by line, which is joyful to do. Here, although in dream, remembrance, kingdom of mind, and imagination, so all these things, the variety of manifestations, the blue, etc., is possible without any external cause, yet the variety of manifestation perceptible in those states or conditions, meaning in dream, in remembrance, in mind or imaginations, the variety of manifestations that appear in this kind of states, in this kind of conditions, because of its impermanency, uncommonness to all perceivers, and also because of its possibility being due to the residual traces left by former experiences. So residual traces, memories, can be considered to be unreal, if you wish. So you can, it's an easy way to imagine these, to be considered these to be unreal. It's, and when you say it's real, and their reality is only, again, as a manifestedness due to free will. So that's all there is to their reality. A bondage equivalent to that also. But in the case of the various creations of city, anything that objectively that can be named, that means that city, army, etc., by the simple will of yogin, this can refer to mythologies and myths, and also epics that comes from there, the example of an army or a city. We have read many stories, also in Gita. So city, the simple, but in the case of the various creations, like city, army, etc., by the simple will of a yogin, because a yogin, there is no possibility of representing them to be due to different material causes, such as clay, wood, semen, blood, etc., so well known to us, so that which has been responsible for creation of sentient and insentient beings, let's say, beings, okay, so sentient and the insentient ones, yeah, let's say that ones. So these are, some are made, the way they are being made, that is known to us. So we don't have this, there is no possibility of representing them to be due to different material causes, like the conventional ones that we have already known. It cannot be said that the omnipresent atoms brought together by the will of yogin bring about the desired thing. This also cannot be said, that there are external atoms and by special powers of the yogin they can be brought together. Well, why not? There might be, but that does not, this is not about what we are talking here. Perhaps in some technology, but this is not. That is still the limited power which falls under the category of that subject we are talking. Again, that is imagination only. For the reason why this explanation is given is only to show that the creation of yogin also is due to the cause, exactly, that's what we mean, which in its essential nature is non-different from that which we find responsible for ordinary everyday creation. Exactly. So you may do wondrous things and or ordinary day, everyday creation. Anything, even this talk and hearing and each and every moment is the same type of creation. There is the same similar unity, there is some unity similar in each and every moment, and that is creation. Though you don't need to go to far away different types of actions, but when you understand this. But this is not an established fact that the jar is the outcome of atoms alone directly. But this is, then we can come here and we also read about this, that then we can transpass time. This is a wonderful understanding. Then from here we go further than how a jar is being created. Created in brackets, in quotation marks. It's a manifestation. That's what I mean. And so where am I? But this is not an established fact that the jar is the outcome of atoms alone directly. So that is quite a limited way of thinking. I didn't want to say short-minded, but a limited way of thinking, a conventional or imposed way of thinking, if you think just like that. It is, on the contrary, not without the intervening stages of Kapala, etc., that jar comes into existence, and then also it is dependent upon subsidiary causes, which is very important. For instance, the movement of hands and feet, connection with certain fixed time, place, possession of religious merit, and excellence of training and practice, and also many, many other things, like even the smallest things. So each and everything that can take part in the creation of that jar. And perhaps when you flatten time, concept of time, then the whole time being in the possession of the yogin, then you can see how a jar is being created on the flattened time. Okay, that goes very abstract perhaps, but it's also not so abstract. We are now living in times of now where quantum understanding has already arisen, and so we can start practicing this type of visualizations and understand that you can pick this from that time, this from this time, not from your personal likes and dislikes, but it is a natural flow, has built, is carving that jar in such way, and that is that which is carved uh, by a tremor, so by that tremor love, and a vibration which is not non-sentient but the sentiency tremor. So it's each and it's made of the billions of wondrous breaths, let's say. Thus, there being so many things necessary in the creation of jar, if a yogin can produce only the first acquiring all that is necessary for the creation of the desired object, he would be no better than the potter himself. Yes, so it's all the same. It's really about coming to a point like the pottery. No, there's no difference. You see, you can sit and breathing, meditating. Everything is action. Also in Gita has been told, if you are aware of what you're doing and there's dedicated attention and a discipline and awareness on the breath while building something. This is not about that yoga. That is a yoga, but it's not a yoga in terms of practice, but it's a spontaneity. I try to mean about the energy of dedication, and then it's not different than walking over the clouds or floating and doing magical things with children like, and also making just a pot or of the potter. But then they all fall under the same category of here, let's go. Therefore, if the yogin's creation has after all to be without well-known causes, so isn't there not well-known causes? Why then think of atoms, etc., as a material cause, which it is impossible to maintain? Yes, so we cannot prove that. Therefore, it may be admitted that such is the spiritual power of a yogin that it makes the objects, which are nothing else than various manifestations of his spiritual power, manifest. Therefore, it is possible that the universal consciousness Samvit, whose power of freedom is acknowledged by virtue of its peculiar will, the chief characteristic of which is freedom from obstruction, manifest these objects of the world which are present within as one with it, objectively as this, that, etc. That means to say, as external to vital air, intellect, and body, to which limited power of consciousness is given. That means prana, buddhi, manas, buddhi, prana. So the prana, intellect, buddhi, and the body, physical body, to which limited power of consciousness is given. So it manifests like that to that limited consciousness. It appears to be so. Therefore, why not admit freedom of the sentient self in the manifestation of the multifarious objects of the world, which has the support of experience? Why feel the weariness due to the search of another cause? The significance of the word eva is that of opponents have to accept the determinate elimination. Okay, no, I stop here. Okay, that part we read, but that is also coming to the opponent's part. Well, that was so much more clear for me to do it this way, the reading this time. Well, hope it brings joy and light to all of us. Namaste.